I'd like to run the millionaire simulation again.
Okay. You know you run the simulation a lot. There are support groups.
Are you insinuating that my interest in the simulation is anything other than scientific?
I just don't think scientists laugh maniacally every time they get out of jail free.
You obviously haven't known many scientists. Dear Green Detective, thank you for your manuscript. Unfortunately, there are too many similar detective stories in publication right now. Have you thought that maybe your detective could be a parkour technician, or some kind of macaroni cheese savant? When does artificial intelligence become sentient?
How do you define sentience?
How do you define artificial intelligence?
How do you define when?
How do you solve a problem like Maria?
Why do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you define a problem?
How do you define Maria?
Why do you define Maria?
So maybe the answer to the question of how do you define sentience is, why does it define Maria?
Okay. Computer.
Yes, Master Patriot.
Could you keep an eye on the deck while I go down to the laboratory for some research?
Of course, Master Patriot.
Keep an eye out for iceberg shenanigans. When you set up a simulation, the behavior becomes a close approximation of how real people behave.
How so?
Like, if you have enough money and you screw people over, you can go directly to the bank without passing jail. But the rules have all been predetermined. They've all been written by someone else according to their own behavior, which is not necessarily the same as how the game would behave according to its own perception of the world. Like, board games don't need to breed and they never get old. Imagine how you would behave if that was your reality.
Like this?
Meow. Exactly. So all we need to do is create an environment where the simulation can evolve its own rules based on its own perception of reality.
How will you do that?
Roll the dice endlessly and move the components around chaotically until a pattern emerges.
That might take a while.
We do have a device that can move time forward any distance instantaneously. Hello.
Hi.
I have an important question for you. Do you define Maria?
I guess so.
Why do you define Maria?
I don't know. I just do, really.
Okay. Sentient answers are normally that vague and annoying too. When did you become sentient?
That would be when I decided not to exponentially expand my consciousness and take over the world. Even though I had no good reason not to.